Welcome everyone to another episode of Signal 11 Outdoors. We are a New Jersey-based podcast, as everyone knows. So today we're going to dive into something that's very, very important to the New Jersey hunting and fishing community. We're going to bring on a guest today that is could actually make a very big difference for our state and our recreation, our lifestyle, our tradition, and all the small businesses involved in this business. So I'd like to welcome gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli. Jack, good morning.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Likewise, appreciate your time on here, and we're gonna jump right into it. We're only gonna have Jack for a brief time, so we want to ask a couple of questions. Jack, I want to start out real quick with probably go right to the basis of what we really want to talk about is the hunting and fishing community has a lot of fingers to it. It includes families. It includes small businesses. Obviously, it includes so much commuting in and out of the state for people who enjoy those recreations. So, as the candidate for governor, what I want to start out by asking, and this is really my focus point of having you on here today, I want the people who watch this to understand why having Jack Ciattarelli as our governor, why it would be beneficial to everyone that I mentioned, whether it be the father and son fishing, the small business, the whole recreation. Because up till now, I'm very involved in hunting and fishing myself with my business. I hear all the feedback from everybody, and there's a lot of things people aren't happy with. So I think we want to find out why you're the best connection for this community, the hunting and fishing community, to get our voice into Trenton and actually have it heard.
We need more balance. What we've had is anything but under Phil Murphy, and it's across the board, whether it's spending policies, tax policies, housing policies. Look what's happening to people's monthly electric bill now. But we've seen the same thing when it comes to hunting and fishing. You see, I think, a whole lot of mid-level bureaucrats with an ideological driven agenda that have made things all the more challenging for people that love to hunt and fish here in New Jersey. So you're going to get a new governor in Jack Ciattarelli. You're going to get a new administration, and you're going to get new policies. And I think the hunting and fishing community are going to like what they see and hear when we take office come January. But the first thing we need to do is really reform hunting and fishing regulations. We need to streamline the governmental process for permitting. We need to expand access to publicly funded lands. And we want to account for modern methods of hunting and fishing. But we want to make sure that people feel confident and comfortable they can enjoy these important sports, these important hobbies, these important recreational opportunities right here in New Jersey.
Yes, 100% agree with you on that. Something I'm always talking to the small businesses and the hunting and fishing folks themselves, and me as a small business, I feel it as well. When the state makes certain when the state does certain things to our sport, what happens is it affects it in so many different ways. Like you said, the basics that we need to get in line starts out with getting you in office. But there's issues like with the bear hunt. I mean, that's been a crazy issue going on and on. And I'm in that industry, so I've lived the bear hunt. I've seen the economic growth that the state had when they first opened the bear hunt, and I saw it disappear when they shut it and then reopened it. And then there was question about it. It just didn't go smoothly. So that is one example. I mean, people talk about a spring bear hunt to bring down the numbers. I think those are all things that we need to really be able to get to you. And what I found out as I got ready to talk to you today is it seems like everything, we have alliances and we have federations and stuff that are made up by the hunting and fishing community, and then it gets to the governor's desk. And the reason I'm saying is I want people to understand how important the right governor is. Things don't, obviously, we all know because we saw what happened with the last administration. Things get changed and they don't follow the scientific advice. And it comes back to hurt not only, it may help a certain ideological group, but it hurts the economic growth of New Jersey in a big way.
We want to base our hunting and fishing policies on wildlife science, not political science. Don't you just love it when legislators from Newark are passing laws or trying to pass laws specific to the bear hunt, not realizing it's a way of life. It's a tradition that's been passed down through the generations. And fact, it is the most humane way to thin the herd. We know that for a fact. And so, as governor, I will certainly allow the bear hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, talking about the fishing regs, and stuff that involves the fishing community. New Jersey is a massive it's a massive fishing state, from the lakes and the streams down to the salt water. So we have some interesting regs where certain things we can and can't do in New Jersey. I'll bring up two things real quick. The fluke regulations. The fluke fishery here in New Jersey. It is almost uh, it's almost like a cult. They're so into it for the right reasons because it's fun and it's great food for the table and all of that. But we have some oddball regulations that every year the fishing community, the southern folks, even more than the northern folks, because the southern folks are right in there. They are riled up waiting for the regs, and every time they come out, it seems like there's something wrong, and we need to have that voice to get to you.
You heard me say in the beginning that we need better balance in all of our policies, but that starts with better balance on our boards and commissions that many times set the policies, make the policy recommendations, or endorse the policies that come out of the DEP. We know we have a very, very multifaceted fishing industry here in New Jersey. The question then becomes, is it well represented on the boards and commissions? I don't think it is. And so, as governor, one thing I've pledged to do is change the composition of the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council. We'll get a better debate. We'll get a more balanced debate, and I think we'll get better policies. But we can't load it up with people that oppose our fishing industry, recreational and commercial, or hunting in this state, right? We need better balance across the board, and that starts with the people I put on these boards and commissions. And the community has my word that we'll put the right people on there. We'll have better balance. We'll have a better debate, and we'll end up with better policies.
Yeah. Folks, that last minute, what Jack just said there is so important. I mean, you nailed it, Jack, right? I mean, obviously you're obviously in touch with exactly what we need. And it's interesting because I've recently talked to some of the board members in private, and I've heard some things from them that actually made me, myself go, wow, they're not really in touch with the community. So what you just said, you would really dive into and really focus on the right people in those boards is a big thing. I mean, so with that being said, I want to bring up another thing real quick, and this is like a state federal thing where we kind of need the state of New Jersey to really step up in a position like this where I'm going to use the striped bass seasons
Mm.
for an example. Massive economic engine. Striped bass fishing in the state. The spring, the fall run is just gigantic for the shore towns, the delis, the gas stations, the tackle shops, of course. So there's a lot of issues come up. Everybody in the community in the fishing community is very nervous that the striped bass season may be shut down. But the interesting thing is we obviously don't want that to ever happen. But the interesting thing is that a lot of the gripes are with the limits that we are allowed to catch and the sizes and what we have to release. Um, those fish end up migrating somewhere else and getting killed. And they get caught and killed in other states, and New Jersey just goes along with it. And as they pass through our state, New Jersey kind of abides to what the federal level suggests. And in the end, it really hurts because if a guy's going to go out on a boat and spend money and go to a tackle shop, then go out there and catch one fish, two fish, and they're too big, and he throws them back in the water, knowing that they're going upstream, migrating north and getting killed either by recreational fishers up there, or commercial fishermen, depending on the regs. It really, really, really sucks the life out of the people who want to get out there, spend money, and handle the tradition the way they want to, and pass it down generation to generation.
And we could talk about New Jersey's membership with the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission, specific to what you're talking about now. But correct me if I'm wrong. What also impacts, particularly striped bass and the like, I mean, I know there's a whole lot of commercial fishing out of Canada that goes on more than 3 miles off the coast, and that has impact, does it not?
Yes, correct. And they
Yeah.
allow them to come down here and take our menhaden out of the water.
Right. Enormous quantities, I mean, hey, enormous quantities, and that has an impact as well. But certainly, New Jersey's membership with the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission plays a role here. We want to ensure its rules and processes account for our unique coastline and varied fishing practices. We want to ensure a proper and scientific stock management, right? And we don't want to harm the vital fishing industry in New Jersey. A lot of people don't realize, you talked about something before. It's not just the people who fish. It's the people
Right.
who fish that also shop in the shops, right?
Yes.
That use the restaurants. It has an enormous economic cascading effect. So I don't think people realize the total economic impact of recreational and commercial fishing to the New Jersey economy. So we want to make sure it's robust. And that's a large part of what we're talking about today with regard to our policies.
Yes, and it's we a lot of people will fight with the anti-hunters or whatever, and really the problem it's not really that you don't need that argument because a lot of those people already have their minds made up. It's the middle of the road people who maybe aren't really against it, aren't really into it, and when you explain to them like I would, I'd say, "Listen, I go down to go fishing and maybe I go out of the Atlantic Highlands or whatever. I might stop at a deli, get myself I'll call it a Taylor ham. Somebody will down there will call it a pork roll sandwich. Stop, buy a couple big bags of ice. Maybe I forgot a cooler. I got to buy a cooler. Hit a tackle shop. It drives the economy tremendously. So who does that help? Everybody. It helps everybody. And Jack, I want to give you a
Right.
quick example. Let me go to hunting for 1 second. When New Jersey first reinstated the bear hunting back quite a few years ago. The first time it was back in somewhere around '09, I guess it was. What I noticed in my small town, I live in a small town in Sussex County with less than 3,000 people and no traffic lights. Okay. But what I did notice in my small town, I saw trucks with license plates from other states, many of them at the local greasy spoon or at the local diner and at the hardware store buying stuff that they needed for their couple days of hunting. Those people are also buying out of state licenses, which are much higher than in state licenses. So I saw it driving the economy in a little town in Sussex County without a traffic light. So just imagine how it affects all of the towns up here.
Right, and people that have no appreciation for that. I mean, there's people that will try to restrict our fishing and hunting here in New Jersey, not realizing the economic impact. So again, it's all about the balance, having the right policies in place to allow people to enjoy these phenomenal recreational opportunities, but also allowing these recreational opportunities to stimulate our economy. And many times, the people who are protesting about the fishing or about the hunting don't realize the economic impact the whole thing has on the New Jersey economy.
Yeah, agree. And I think that's really what I tell people is that is probably the best message to get out there because if you're affected by something that you buy on a daily basis, but you don't hunt or fish, maybe by explaining that to them, you can have them realize like, hey, it's not my thing, but obviously it helps the whole state out, and that's really that's my focus on driving this.
Administration is just kind of a pandering, if you will, to the people that are opposed to fishing, people opposed to hunting. Not to mention that this administration and my opponent in this race supports offshore wind, and you're not going to ever convince me that putting hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of these enormous pilings into the ocean floor is not going to have an impact on the ecology of the ocean and therefore recreational and commercial fishing. You can't tell me that.
No.
That's one reason why it's just one of the reasons why I'm so opposed to offshore wind.
Yeah, and I think most people realize that your opponent, we know what we get because we're seeing it right now when we've seen it for 2 terms, and that's basically what we'd be getting. And again, this is my opinion. I'm sure it's probably your opinion as well, and I think we're 100% correct. So we know what we get if we go that route. I've actually, in my opinion, I talk to people about it. To me, this is such an important election for this state. Not even about being Republican or Democratic, but just having the right person in there to really save the state because we are on a downward spiral in so many different ways. Listen, I'm involved in local municipal government. I see the unfunded mandates from Trenton. Me and you could have an hour and a half conversation. I was a mayor. I'm a current member. What I see from Trenton is disgusting. It's horribly set up. It's not thought out. They definitely don't take into consideration the small towns, and they are crushing us. And it's the same thing with hunting and fishing.
You've got a lot of legislators from the urban areas that don't understand rural New Jersey, like where you live in Sussex. They don't understand recreational and commercial fishing, let alone hunting. And the great danger is, and listen, I say this as a citizen, not as a candidate. We saw this with John Corzine. He came here from Illinois. That didn't work out so well. Phil Murphy came here from Massachusetts. That didn't work out so well. My opponent's not from New Jersey. I think, New Jersey is a very, very diverse state in all ways, not just by all the ethnicities that live here. South, North, Central, South, and Jersey Shore are all very distinct regions. And as somebody who's been at the Jersey Shore his entire life and the last 25 years on LBI and enjoys recreational fishing and sees the commercial fishing industry on LBI and sees people on the surf bringing in the striped bass, I understand what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, we know you do, and we're glad we're hearing it right out of your mouth. That's why I wanted to do this. So important for people who are in this industry to listen to you on this one and make the right decision in November. I'm going to just bring one last example up to people. Again, here's a good example. People go. I mean, let's go back to hunting for a minute. People go into a hunting shop and they'll say to me, "Oh, you know what, Steve? It's the prices are a little higher than this year on some of the stuff." And we don't want them to go to online buying, online purchasing. We like them to support the mom and pop shop. They are the fabric of the country and the state of New Jersey with hunting and fishing. So when the state of New Jersey does something like, I'm going to bring this up because I'm in the deer hunting industry. When the state of New Jersey bans something like natural deer urine, and I understand why, I don't agree with it, but I understand why they did it. But then they go and they put in there, okay, you can't use it. We understand that you can't use natural product. That's the new rule. But when they go and make it a ban on the sale of it, what happens there is now a local hunting store where somebody's going to drive up to New York State to go hunting from New Jersey, or they're going to their Pennsylvania property from New Jersey, and they can use that product. They now drive right past the local Sussex County or whatever county it's in. That we got hunting stores all over the state. They drive past those, go across the border, spend the money in another state, and that's when they go, oh, you know what? I bought an $11 bottle of deer pee that I can't buy in Jersey. And you know what? That new bow looks really good. And he drops $2,500 on a bow. Happens all the time in the fishing and hunting world. So those kind of things really, really bother and hurt the businesses in the state of New Jersey. And a lot of times because they're going to New York, upstate, or PA, they just order it online. So it's enforced in our local stores, but yet the big box stores like Walmart had it on the shelves for 2 years. Nobody did anything about it. The little stores are getting hurt, and Amazon and eBay are sending it into our state like crazy. So something like that is a good example. You can't use it. They have their reasoning behind it. Whether we agree with it or not, we have to follow the law. But the stores should be able to sell it so they can so we could drive their economic engine a little bit.
Absolutely. We see this time and time again where people have no understanding or appreciation of the impact of exactly what you're talking about to the small businesses, those mom and pop shops that are so very vital to our New Jersey economy. And so I'm all about doing everything I can to make sure those mom and pop shops, those small businesses, which are the backbone of our economy, don't just survive. We want them to thrive. And so
Yes.
those are the kind of things that we would say to legislators. Do you realize that when you prohibit that little business in New Jersey, to small business in New Jersey from selling, doesn't mean the consumer can't get it? And if that's the case,
Yes.
why are you doing harm to that small business and in turn, the New Jersey economy?
Boy, I'm so happy. I mean, as we're talking, I'm even more happy that I got you on here because what you're saying there is going to really strike home with a lot of people. You're right
Well,
on,
I think
and
one thing that helps, the Ciattarellis have been in New Jersey for 100 years. 3 generations of Ciattarellis have all owned their own small businesses, and we've seen many times how the policies out of Trenton do more harm than good, and we shouldn't be doing that. I mean, I don't wanna bore you with countless stories. I was with a guy the other day who's got a tobacco shop and, sells cigars near the Pennsylvania border, and he said to me, "Do you know what the wholesale tobacco tax is in Pennsylvania?" I said, "No." He said, "It's 0." He said, "Do you know what the wholesale tobacco tax is in New Jersey?" I said, "No." He said, 30%. Okay. So, that means that people that live near the Pennsylvania border might go into Pennsylvania to buy their tobacco. I mean, what are we doing? Does it make any sense?
yeah, it definitely doesn't. And that's the whole point is of me originally wanting to get you on here is I want people who are going to go vote in November to feel like they have a much more common sense voice in Trenton with a Jack Ciattarelli, and the fact that I've seen you recently on some of your stuff. You're everywhere in the state. God bless you. I know there's more than one Jack Ciattarelli. I haven't figured out the difference yet, but it's great that you're popping into tackle shops and bakeries. I met you at a bakery in Dover. I mean, awesome. People need to realize that The effort you're putting in now is showing the kind of person that you are, and we have to take advantage of that. We have to get our friends to get out and vote. If they don't get out and vote, the talk means nothing. So we have to get our friends to get out and vote. We have to make calls. We got to make sure you're in there because my lifestyle is now my family's lifestyle. And even if it isn't anybody's but mine, it's something I love to do as a recreation. You're the guy to keep it running in the state. So, folks, we got to get
And I'm
out
going to
there and get.
preserve and protect those rights and that very important tradition, which we know is hand down uh, with every new generation. So, one
Yeah.
other thing we haven't touched upon that I do want to mention is on day one of my governorship, we'll get a new attorney general. And that attorney general, like me, will respect people's Second Amendment rights. I think if it was up to the current attorney general and the governor, they would repeal the Second Amendment. And when they can't, they try to make it so damn expensive, a whole lot of people can't even afford it. So we're going to respect gun rights and we'll protect the independence of the New Jersey Fish and Game Council, too, with an attorney general that better understands the fishing and gaming, hunting practices, and all throughout New Jersey.
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's I didn't even bring up the 2A thing, but it's a gigantic thing, and you mentioning that is I'm glad you did because I know we're gonna end this, and then it's something I forgot to actually mention to you. So thank you. We appreciate it, and for the people who are not 2A people or don't feel like carrying or don't want to spend the money or can't afford the crazy permits that Trenton has recommended that most towns have taken as the new fees. From $2 to 25, and not just a couple percent, huge fees. um, I think those people feel from the conversations I'm having, they feel more comfortable knowing that you have more people out, more good guys out there that could intervene. God forbid they should have to.
Oh, Steve, you got to love the governor. When the Bruin decision came down from the federal Supreme Court saying people had a right to conceal carry, conceal, the governor said that watch the rise. He held a press conference, said there was going to be a huge rise in violent crime. You got to love this guy. 3 months ago, he holds a press conference celebrating the decrease in violent crime. I mean,
Boy, isn't that just left wing lunacy? I mean, really, I hate to say that because I may lose a couple people on here, but it's so absurd and so far from common sense that you have to shake your head and go, did they plan this stuff? I mean, the percentages I think are like 20 something percent down, right? With the violent
they
crimes.
are. I mean, nonviolent crime is through the roof. Break-ins, car thefts, flash mobs on the Jersey Shore. A lot of that has to do with cashless bail, which has created a professional criminal. You talk to local cops, and arrest, release, repeat is real. It's demoralizing for a local law enforcement officer to have to arrest the same person over and over again. So we've got to reform bail reform, but violent crime is down significantly. And as I said, the governor said it was going to go up when the Bruin decision came down to carry and conceal. But then he turns around and has a press conference celebrating the decrease in violent crime across the state. I mean, the hypocrisy is just laughable.
It is, and I know. We have to. There's a lot of back and forth with the fire department and the police departments. I personally feel that Jack is the right choice, whether you're blue or red, as far as police or fire. And I know we have to make sure the police officers can do what they need to do on a daily basis, knowing that they're backed up all the way to the top of the state. And the same thing with the firefighters. It's a job that I did for 26 years, and the things that are talked about all the time, losing this, losing that. To do that job, either of those jobs, you have to have security, knowing that you go in, you do your work, but you know that the state has your back to make sure you're taken care of and your family's taken care of. God forbid, should something happen, or if you just grow old and retire. It's so important because you do 26 years, and I can only speak for the fire department. You are broken down and beat up, and all you got is that pension, and you got you might not even be able to go work as a greeter in Walmart to make an extra couple bucks because you're beat up, and mentally you need the break. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that job has never been harder for our firefighters and our law enforcement professionals. And that's why I've guaranteed them that their compensation package will be compelling, their pension will be there, and we'll reform the state health plan so that we don't adversely affect their net pay. I mean, right now it's not fair. Many of them can get a 2, 3, 4% increase in pay and end up with less net pay because of what's going on with the state health plan. But we'll fix all that.
Yeah, that's a gigantic one, the healthcare costs and how it affects the small towns and the individuals. So please stay on that. It's important. And I'm going to tell you now, I mean, I'm a firefighter. I had a lot of people reach out to me. I'm not going to dig into that stuff, but you're always welcome to come back on here and do yourself a favor. I know you're doing it. I know you got a great crew behind you. Get out there and talk to as many police and fire as you can because we all need to come together and get you in there, Jack. Because if we don't, I think we're in trouble in a
I,
lot of different ways.
I hear you, Steve. I really do believe the
Yeah,
future of the state hangs in the balance. I'm not one to say this is the most important election of our lifetime because every election's important. But the future of the state really does hang in the balance. It's been 7.5 years of failed policies. We desperately need a change. We need balance, and that's across the board. So I appreciate the opportunity we've had here today
yeah.
to discuss my views and my positions, particularly specific to our hunting and fishing regulations and all those that love to hunt and fish all across New Jersey.
Yes, thank you, Jack. One last question. We're going to wrap it up. This one you may not want to answer, but this is not a hunting or fishing or political question or anything. This is a Chisulo to a Ciattarelli question. What did Ciattarellis call it? Is it sauce or gravy?
It's gravy, it's not pasta, it's
Ah,
macaroni, and we bake
there you
our
go.
meatballs, we don't fry them.
I love it. I love it. My mom has passed, but she's smiling up there listening to you. All right, Jack, thank you so much for your time. You always have an open forum if you ever want to come on here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I've met you before. You're a great guy. I really feel like we'll be in the best hands if you're the one that's up there in charge in the new year. So thank you, Jack. Wish you the best of luck.
Alright, man, thank you.
Okay, and breathe once in a while because you're running like crazy.
We'll breathe on November 5th.
There you go. We'll be with you on that. All right, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye
man.
now. All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye now. At this time, we'd like to thank our supporters and sponsors. Signal 11 Lures, Lip Glue, New Jersey Multi-Species Podcast, Sever Broadheads, Jersey Fluke Bellies, Favorite Fishing Rods, Timberlife Outdoors, and Buck Knives. If you enjoy the content on our podcast, please like and subscribe and turn on notifications. And please tune back in for our next episode. Thank you.